What was your inspiration for creating critical thinking models and systems?
I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm a bookworm. I'm an individual who always was into the books, always was fascinated by people and things. So systems and education and concepts are right in my alley. That's my DNA. That's where I get my most fervent energy from.
What made you choose the educational market?
Well, right now the big threes are healthcare, education, and technology. Now, healthcare, I don't want to be a Ben Carson because I have no abilities in science or medicine. I have no idea or aspiration to be the next Elon Musk or Zuckerberg or Gates in technology. That's not my forte. But what I can do and be transformational in education. Education in ways that fix the problem of people being better thinkers, problem solvers, and critical thinkers. And so for me, I'm at the best time I possibly could be at a time when education, information, and transformational education more specifically is the best place to be. So that for me is a passion I have and a passion I'm actually manifesting as we speak.
Who do you see yourself as in the field of education?
Currently, no one. No one in education I want to emulate because I think that the individuals aren't taken it to the next level. I don't see sexy educators. I don't see no one right now that you can think about on the world stage say, I want to be that person. Matter of fact, I go as far as to say that people who become athletes or entertainers or in that genre, when they go into that stage and they want to thank Mrs. Smith who helped them along the way because she believed in being successful kind of thing. When they go there, they'll thank the teacher, Miss Smith, but they don't want to be her. Miss is on a pension. She did all the things that a teacher should do and gave her life, but she wasn't paid for it. But flip it. Now you have Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown's successful. He has his own empire. He has his own systems. He has people who report to him. He makes more money than the athletes that he taught back in the day. That's the guy you want to follow. That's the person you want to see and emulate in terms of your life. And to me, Fred Williamson was the person who made that sexy. He was the person in the 1970s who, from a football player to an actor to a writer to a director to a producer, he's doing the kind of thing in entertainment that I want to do in education. So we have to make education sexy in ways that entertainers have made entertainment sexy.
What made you expand your education line into the IRAC method, case method, and SWOT analysis?
Anytime you have a new proprietary concept, it's your responsibility to give it the best shot possible. Now, the IRAC legal analysis came from law school. Any law school in America usually knows something about the IRAC method. It goes for issue, rules, analysis, and conclusion. The case method comes from Harvard Business School. That tells you about putting yourself in the shoes of a CEO and determining what would you do in that situation to rectify or solve a business problem. And then SWOT analysis talks about giving a snapshot of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of your company. So all those were, to me, close alliances with the IBAR critical thinking method. And the best way I knew of to actually give IBAR the best shot was to put it in that pantheon with the other three, and therefore teach it all based on the needs of the people. So it was a way of looking at systems, not philosophies, systems of giving solutions to problem solving, critical thinking, and decision making. It was a strategic move that I felt would be beneficial for the transformation of education as we know it, but more importantly, giving IBAR critical thinking method the best chance of be succeeding.
You often talked about the imbalance of society towards entertainment. What do you mean when you say you want to make education sexier?
In the 1980s, there was a time that you didn't know who a head of a corporation was, right? You didn't know who Sony CEO was, or GE or any of the big boys, if you will, the big girls. You didn't know any of those individuals, who they were. But in the 1980s, it became the thing whereas we wanted to know and personalize multinational companies. And now you can't go and have a large company and not know the CEO. They're stars, they're superstars. Same thing with education. Education right now feels like this big ship by which people are on board and there's no captain steering in any direction, and kids aren't being educated, people aren't being edified, professional development isn't happening. None of it is happening inside education as it relates to a composite. Now, individually, yes, but are we having transformational leaders? Are we having individuals who are coming out, making things happen and doing things that are transformational in terms of the world? No. So what I see as the catalyst or the challenge for educators, particularly those of us who are for-profit, professional educators, we have to put a face on education. Based on a concept that we believe in, we have to become evangelists. We have to be so exciting when it comes to education that we want kids to say, I don't want to be a ball player, I want to be educated. I don't want to make $1 million, I want to make $100 million because this guy right here created a system of thinking and thought that transforms how we see civilization, how we actually act, and how we do what we do. So that's why I want to see education go in ways that other industries, entertainment, sports, has gone.
What's the difference between the education system that you created, teach and promoted, versus educational philosophy?
Again, a result. The IBAR critical thinking method, for example. Issue, what's the problem? The benchmark by which other successes of the past have happened. The analysis, how does it work? Why does it work? The application, does it work in this situation? Recommendations, how we will apply it in this go around. To me, smooth, concise, clear. Philosophy, give me the inductive reasoning, deductive reasoning, adductive reasoning, give me some back and forth. Now, settle down, class. We're going to have a situation now by which you're going to actually take the pros and cons of the problem, which is all good information. I'm not knocking the fact that it's good information and good skills. But at the end of 3 months, if I ask you on 3 months and 1 day, you give me one critical analysis system that you've learned and you can't, that was a waste of time. But if you can remember IBAR or IRAC or any of the systems that we teach, you're going to be good because you'll know it for the rest of your life. Anytime you have a problem, just go through the process and learn those 3, 4 letters and you will be successful as it relates to solving that problem and becoming a problem solver and decision maker.